Hello, very, very fabulous, awesome, and amazing humans. I am really excited to chat with you. Happy Friday. I hope your week has gone really well. It's really funny. You know, there's this whole thing out there that if you are doing what you love, you shouldn't be so excited for Friday to come around, or you should just be happy like you to work every day and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I still really love my Fridays. It's kind of curious. I'm a little bit more tired today, I've noticed, actually. I don't know how you guys have been feeling. A bit more, just need to put my slipper back on. Bit more tired today, following on from a really big week, following on actually from a really, it's been a pretty huge 3 months, I think, for all of us. And I normally I'm like bang, 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 and today I'm just feeling a little bit tired. I do know that I've had my brain fully in and my eyeballs fully in tech and really kind of like massively concentrated on my screen for the last couple of days. So, you know, I know that also contributes. Hey, Catherine. So I'm really excited to chat with you today. I've got to tell you that we are launching officially Funnelicious, which is my latest invention, which I'm really beyond thrilled about. It's really funny because I get funny Funnelicious. I get asked a lot about how much time I spent active in social media, how much time I actively spent marketing, how much time I actively am in tech and things like that. And you know, I think it's really, it's interesting because I don't actually spend all day, every day on social media. It might look like I do, but I actually don't. I'm off, I'm coaching, I'm training, I'm mentoring, I'm journaling, I'm doing all of those things, as well as, you know, hanging out with my family and doing all of that kind of thing. And I think one of the biggest things that I've really, that I get asked a lot about is, well, like, how much can we automate? How much do we need to do in the moment? And, you know, how the hell do we make all of that work? So for those of you who are really, I guess, you know, looking at using or being more profitable online, doing more things online without having to spend all of your time online and active in social media, then Funnelicious is going to be really awesome for you. The other thing, and like we'll automate the things that we can automate. And I think, hey, Carmen, that's the biggest thing really, is that there are some things that you want to automate and there's things that you don't. And the thing that really pisses me off is, you know, when you send a message to somebody and then you know that it's like an auto reply. I think that's really lame, actually. But because it kind of takes out that human element. Right, and to me, it's very much cut and paste. It's very carbon copy. Like the messages that you get from one person is the same message you get from another. And I actually turned off the bots, for instance. I had some tests. I was testing some maybe about 6 months ago, just to kind of see. And I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. It feels inauthentic. It feels really wanky, actually, to be kind of blunt. So I'm like, screw that. And the same thing sort of I had the same feeling when I was building funnels ages ago. Nicole, totally been like that this week. Yeah, it's a lot, it's a bit more tiring, I think, this week. But the thing that I really, I guess, what I've learned in the last decade of building funnels for myself, learning and testing all of the things, training people, for many years, since 2012, how to build them, how to leverage them, how to optimize them, is that we don't want it to always be so fucking cut and paste, right? Cut and copy and paste. You know, it's got to be, to me, your marketing, your content, your funneling, everything needs to be, it's got to have the essence of you in it. Otherwise, you're kind of starting off these relationships from completely the wrong foot. So what I wanted to let you know is that is open and ready for your registering pleasure, should you choose to join us in that. We are starting on the 29th of June. We're going to run for 3 whole weeks. You are going to have your funnels created. You're going to have your marketing created. You're going to know how to make money from it. You're going to know what to automate, what not to automate, how to make them fun, right? And funnily enough, your funnels can be fun. So that is that. The link is in the comments. Let me know if you cannot see that. And if somebody can just let me know that link works, that would be really freaking freaking awesome. Please, thank you. Nicole, yes, that grinds my gears. Yeah, totally. You know, what I wanted to talk with you about today is the journey that your people go through, right? And I think it's something that we often neglect. It's something that we often don't think about. And, you know, some people will call it the customer journey or whatever. I like to think of it as the hot cold journey, the hot cold client journey, because, you know, that's what I call you guys. And what I want you to call your audiences, because that's who we want, right? We want people within our marketing getting an experience of us and working their way through the journey of getting to know us, getting to know you. Because usually it's not like that. When somebody first sees you, they don't only go, "Oh my God, shut up and take my money." You know, I'm in. Like I'm in. 75% of people really, you know, they take time, right? Carmen said you may as well just take my credit card. Well, I can do that if you would like me to. You know, really the big thing is that your people, like we've got to think of the people who are coming across us as people. Right? A lot of people just think that it's a number, it's ticking a box. It's, yeah, okay, I've got to go build a fucking funnel, you know, tick the box, tick the box, tick the box. When actually what happens, every step of the journey that your people come through, they have an experience of you, they form impressions of you, and it either cements their opinion of you. Well, it does every time. It cements their opinion of you, whether that's for good or for bad or for indifferent. And I think to me, like the worst thing that I could create, it would be if I inspired somebody to have an apathetic opinion about me, that would be really bad. Like, I would not want someone to be, I don't really have an opinion of Nicola. Or I want to be like, she's a motherfucking badass, or, you know, I freaking hate her, or, you know, whatever. I really want people to have a strong opinion of me, and I want people to have a strong opinion of you, because what will happen, they can sort themselves into either camp a lot faster that way, and therefore the journey that they go on with you is probably going to happen faster. So here's how it happens. People are stumbling, like, let's call your person, I don't know, let's give them a name. Let's say that you're, throw a name at me. Someone comment, and I'll use your name, and I'll tell a bit of a story. Please and thank you. Just a Friday story time. Throw me a name. Come on. I know you guys are watching. I can see you there watching. So please, just comment. Tell me you can hear me. Give me a name, any name. Everyone's a winner. Oh my God. You know, my biggest fear was always that no one would ever comment on my live streams, and that they would just be like, I'm not going to say anything. Carmen, you were the last person to comment. Maybe I'll pick on you in a really good way. So Carmen, let's say that Carmen hadn't ever experienced me before. The first thing that would happen is that you see me, and then you kind of go, in milliseconds online, you form an impression, right? So your people, let's say that your person's name is Andrea, and your Andrea stumbles across, I'm gonna write that down so I remember. Andrea stumbles across your profile, stumbles across your page, right? That's okay, Carmen, you don't have to be listening. Yes, you do, that's not true. Andrea stumbles across your page, or a post in her newsfeed for whatever reason that might be. You pop into her awareness. Within milliseconds, she forms a first impression of you. Right? Now, the statistics used to show that it takes between 6 and 7 seconds for someone to form a first impression of you. Now, that was kind of pre-internet days, like pre-internet data days. These days, think about how fast things are flowing through your newsfeed. It's coming like thick and fast, post after post after post after post. You don't have the time, capacity, space, and the actual brain function to look at everything and really absorb it. So quickly, people are looking at your stuff and they're like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, move on, move on, move on, move on, move on. The first impressions get made within milliseconds these days. We don't have the luxury of 6 or 7 seconds. It is so much faster. So they will decide whether they like or dislike you, whether they resonate with what you're sharing and what you're posting, or whether they don't. Now, let's assume that they're like, yeah, this like Carmen's a bit of a badass. I'm going to follow her and see what happens. The next thing that they do in their journey getting to know you is that they will read and watch and listen, right? There'll be something else that comes through their feed and they're like, yeah, like tick another box. And then they'll keep watching and listening and then that ticks another box. So what's happening, if you imagine, I need to draw you a picture. So I don't want you to imagine it. I don't know what this is. That's fun. I've got this big piece of butcher's paper in the back of my notebook and I don't know what it is. So that's kind of curious. So let's imagine that this is something that I'm going to call today the likability index, right? So what happens is the first time someone comes across you, they're kind of like, yeah, let's assume that they like you. It ticks that one bit, right? And then the next time they see you, it hits in the next one. Now, this is a bit bigger, a bit more bulbous. It's a cool word for a Friday. A bit more bulbous because like we've got to work really hard at the start to kind of capture people, right? And to be consistent and build that relationship with them. So as they're coming through and they're seeing the different things that are like that you're putting up there, this is the likability index and they get to like you more and more, right? So it's kind of like they're heating up. They're really starting to love you and then it's like, whew. So every time they read and watch, imagine that they're going up one of those notches. And this repeats multiple times. Now, this is a lot of this stuff. Things that when you're thinking about your funnels, when you're thinking about the client journey, we can't automate that in the sense of them just automatically doing it. We've got to put things in front of them, right? So we've got to put your content in front of them. You've got to put your authority marketing in front of them so that they can grow in that likability index. Then throughout your client journey, the next thing that happens, hopefully, is what you're going to be doing is you're going to offer them something, right? So it could be an opt-in for something free, something that is going to solve a problem for them. So for you, depending on what it is that you do, it could be an ebook, it could be a guide, a checklist, a template, a free challenge. It could be anything that actually activates them, right? So then what happens? So what we've got is we've got your likability index going up, 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 up. And then when that has accelerated, then they go like, bloop, and they're into the top of your marketing funnel, right? So they explode out of here and they land in your marketing funnel. Now, in your marketing funnel, in through here, they're still kind of getting to know you. They've opted in for something. So they're having their problems solved and things like that. Now, from there, when we're thinking about what we can automate, you don't have to be emailing everybody singularly, the free thing that you're putting out there, right? That's the stuff that we want to automate. But the thing is that a lot of people there, they've got all of the personality happening in here. And then the second people land in their marketing funnels, they're just like, they turn into robot people, right? So we don't want to do that. The other thing that you've got to be aware of, like your person, once they're in the top of your marketing funnel, we don't want to leave them hanging, right? You want to be helping them to solve their problems, connect with them, build relationships with them, show them by giving them results in advance that you're able to help them, right? It really helps people to like you. It actually instigates one of the pillars of persuasion, which is the law of reciprocity. And what that means is that you are, without asking really for anything in return, you're helping them achieve a breakthrough. You're helping them solve a problem, right? You're educating, motivating, inspiring them, however it is that you're doing it. The next thing that tends to happen, which is where like when they're in your marketing funnel, in this customer journey section, like, so I call this like the phase 6, is where they're sitting there thinking, well, you know, this is all great. They're either reading your emails or they're not reading your emails. And I'm like, all right, how can you help me? You know, I'm ready, but don't ignore me. One of my pet peeves about this industry is that some people will only email their audiences when they're in launch or when they're trying to sell something. And I just think that's really rude and disrespectful. I mean, if that's aligned for you, then you can do it. But for me, it's just like, no way. Like, I don't only want to talk to you when I'm trying to sell you something. I mean, of course I'm going to talk to you when I'm selling you something, but I also want to talk to you outside of those times because you might not be ready yet, right? That if I go and send out an email to you or put a post up that's saying, hey, you know, I'm selling this thing, and you're like, yeah, but I've only just known you, I've only just met you, I'm not ready to buy anything, or maybe the timing isn't right, or whatever reason, I've got to keep showing up for you, right? And this is really where we get into number 8, because if it's not the right time, if it's not the right problem for that person that you're trying to solve, you don't just want to kind of like, go, okay, fine, that's done. Like, you're dead to me. It's like, no, how else can we add value? How else can we keep this building? So as people are coming through and you're building that likability and they're in your funnel and they're really kind of experiencing that journey of you, your job is to make sure that you're showing up, that you're being consistent, that you're being you, and that it doesn't have to be, and they don't want to see all of this boring carbon copy stuff that they would see exactly the same in the next person in your industry, and then the next person in your industry, and then the next person in your industry. So that is the client journey, and then they'll buy from you. Or they are just constantly going through that learning process until they're like, okay, you know what? I'm freaking in. Shut up and take my money. I am so in. So for you, how are you nurturing your audience through their journey and through their experience with you? Because if you're not, you're missing, like you won't be making the money that you want to make online. You won't be getting the clients that you want to get online. You'll be spending far too much time doing all the shit that you hate. And the risk that you run is that you end up looking the same, sounding the same, feeling the same, looking the same as everybody else in your industry. And, you know, that's not going to be helpful for you when you want to achieve these goals that you want to reach and get to. So the customer journey is this, or the hot cold journey is this, hot cold client journey is this. They make their first impression of you, and assuming they like you, they will continue to read and watch, right? Then that just keeps repeating multiple times. At that point, then they'll go, okay, cool. So I'm going to opt in for something. I've got this big problem. They've gone and helped me with this thing. Yes, the likability index is going up and they're in your marketing funnel. The worst thing that you want to do though is don't leave them hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Don't only contact me when you're in launch. I want to get to know you all the time. Tell me how you can help me is number 6. Don't ignore me. Right? Send me regular emails. If I've opted in for something and I've expressed an interest, you know, you've got to assume that I've got a hell of a lot more problems than just that one thing that I popped my information in for. Keep motivating me, keep inspiring me, keep connecting with me, right? Don't just ignore me. It drives me fucking crazy. The 8th bit is, but you know what? I might not be ready yet. So keep talking to me, right? And number 9 is that they'll buy. Sometimes it can take, you know, and this is where consistency comes in. Some people will buy really, really quickly. They move through that journey with you in the space of, you know, a day, and they might spend anywhere from like $2,000 to $50,000 to $120,000 with you, depending on what it is that you're doing. I've had that happen. It can happen. Ultimately, you might have people that are going through that journey with you for years. I've literally had people follow me for 7 years before buying from me. Right? It's funny. And they tell me, actually, even longer than that. I had one client who said, Nick, it just wasn't the right time, but I've been following you since the start. I'm like, what, since 2010? She said, yep. Holy shit. So, you know, some people, the journey that they go on with you is really long. So you've got to stay consistent. The beautiful thing about these funnels and about the journey is that there is a lot of people who will make their decisions fast, they will like you quickly, and they will buy. The people who are a bit slower is fine. Carmen said hello because she's been following me for years. You know, you've just got to keep showing up for them and trust that if they're still watching, if they're still listening or half listening, your job is just to keep saying, hey, you know what? I'm still here. Hey, you know what? I'm still here. Hey, I haven't gone anywhere. You know, hey, I'm here. I can help you. And it's up to them then for the right thing to be put in front of them, for them to go, okay, you know what? I am in. Shut up and take my money. And they buy from you. So your job is consistency and nurturing them through that process. Now, there's a bunch of stuff in there that you can automate. There's a bunch of stuff in there as well that if that's really what you want, if you are really wanting to make money online, then you can and will do it in the short game, but you've also got to be willing to play the long game as well. So I trust that that is helpful for you. I would really encourage you to think about what is it, if you were to be looking at your stuff, right, through the eyes of your hot cold client, what is the journey right now that they are going on with you? What is the feeling that you have of your stuff with your hot cold client hat on? And you know what? If you're missing the mark, then you've got to do something about it. Otherwise, a lot of this time, money, energy that you are putting into social media is just going to fall flat. It's just not going to work. And you're going to get more frustrated. You're going to get more overwhelmed, more pissed off when things don't work and you're not making the money that you want to make online. So that is the hot cold client journey and a bit of an insight into what Funnelicious is going to be all about. It doesn't have to be this kind of like rigid marketing that feels really uncomfortable and shit, to be blunt, when you're doing it. We want to make it fun for you. We want to make it fun for your hot cold clients, and we want to make it really easy for them to fall in love with you really freaking quickly. So Funnelicious, the link is up and in the comments there. If you've got any questions about it, let me know. Otherwise, I can't wait to welcome you in. It's going to be really exciting. There are 3 different options in there. I'm just going to teach you. There's one in there where you've got me on the hotline for the whole 3 weeks that we run through the program. So if you've got questions, or if you get stuck with tech, if you get stuck with anything, you can just hotline me and I'll answer it for you. Or there's also a done with you where I'll go and build out the tech for you so you don't have to worry about it. And then you just backfill it with the things that you create. So there are 3 options in there. There are no excuses, right? You can do this. You can create an amazing experience and really, really nurture your people through this journey of them getting to know you. All right. I'm going to love you and leave you because I have a radio interview in 5 minutes. So have a really amazing day. Have a great weekend. You are going to see this Funnelicious splashed all over the internet for the foreseeable future. There is pre-work dropping next week. So the sooner you are in, the sooner you are going to get supported. So get out there. Go help some people. Be really strategic about how you're doing all of that. Have fun doing it. And remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesome. I will see you very, very soon. Bye.